Her dad pulled me aside. You need to pay off her 30 cow student loans before the wedding as a gift, or no blessing. I replied, I understand. Then I called the wedding planner and canceled the reception, telling them to bill the father of the bride, as per the contract clause. I added his face when he got the $20,000 cancellation fee. Look, I'm not a petty person by nature, but some people push you in ways that call for a surgical level of pettiness, so precise, so flawless it turns into art. My fiancée Rachel's dad, Dennis, was one of those people. Let me paint you a picture of Dennis. Imagine a guy who introduces himself as Dennis Mitchell, Regional VP of Sales at his own daughter's birthday party, who wears a Bluetooth earpiece to family dinners in case the Singapore office calls. A man who told me his golf handicap before he ever mentioned his daughter's middle name. That's Dennis. Rachel and I had been together for 3 years. She's a pediatric nurse, smart, funny, and someone who tolerates absolutely no nonsense from anyone, except her dad because, well, family guilt. I'm a software engineer. I make decent money, not Silicon Valley absurd, but comfortable enough that when I proposed, I got her the ring she actually wanted, not just the one I could afford. The proposal was perfect. A sunset hike on her favorite trail. I even got her dog to wear a little "Will you marry my dad?" bandana. She cried. I cried. The dog ate the bandana. It was a beautiful moment. Then we had to tell her parents. Her mom, Linda, an absolute saint, hugged me, cried, happy tears, and immediately started talking about flower arrangements, even though we hadn't even set a date. Dennis shook my hand, way too hard, and said, "Well, I hope you know what you're getting into. She's expensive." Rachel laughed it off. I should have taken that as a warning. Red flags were basically this man's entire personality. Wedding planning began. We wanted something simple, 80 guests, a nice venue, good food, open bar, nothing excessive. The budget was around $35,000, split evenly between us. My half, her half, modern and fair. Then Dennis got involved. First, he insisted on reviewing our vendor contracts. I negotiate deals for a living, but he said, "You need my expertise." I didn't need his expertise. I needed him to stop sending me LinkedIn articles about wedding planning synergies. But Rachel asked me to humor him, so I sent everything over. He responded with a 47-point PowerPoint presentation on how we were leaving money on the table, not a document, not an email. A full presentations complete with slide transitions and a title slide that read, "Mitchell, my last name, wedding." A cost-benefit analysis. There were pie charts. Multiple pie charts. One was labeled unnecessary expenses, and it was literally the entire pie. The DJ contract. You're overpaying for the premium package. They're just playing Spotify. I have a nephew with an iPhone and a Bluetooth speaker. Free. The photographer. Why do you need engagement photos and wedding photos? Just use the engagement ones twice. Photoshop exists. Also, everyone has cameras on their phones. I can set up a shared Google Drive folder. The catering. An open bar is fiscally irresponsible. A cash bar builds character. Besides, if people want to drink, they can pregame in the parking lot like adults. He actually said, pregame in the parking lot, for his daughter's wedding. I nodded, ignored most of it, and kept planning. 3 months before the wedding, Rachel and I met her parents for dinner at a fancy steakhouse. Dennis's choice. Of course, we were discussing centerpieces when Dennis set down his whiskey, Macallan 18, which he made sure to announce to the waiter, and looked at me. "Can I speak to you privately?" Man to man. Rachel gave me a look that clearly said, "Please don't let him talk you into inviting his entire sales team." We stepped outside. Cool October air. Dennis lit a cigar. I don't smoke, but he didn't offer anyway. "You love my daughter?" he asked. "Very much." "You want to make her happy?" "That's the plan." "Good. Good." He took a puff of his cigar. "Then we need to discuss her student loans." I blinked. "Her what?" "Her student loans. She's got about $30,000 left. Nursing school wasn't cheap." "Okay, you're going to pay them off before the wedding. As a gift." I actually laughed. I thought he was joking. "That's funny." His expression didn't change. "I'm not joking. You want to marry her? You need to bring something to the table. Prove you're serious. Prove you can provide. Dennis, it's traditional. The groom's family contributes financially. Your parents aren't contributing anything, are they? We didn't ask them to. We're paying for everything ourselves. Exactly. So this is how you contribute. 30,000. Clear her debt. Start the marriage fresh. My mind started doing the math. Our entire wedding budget was $35,000, split between us, and he wanted me to spend another $30,000 on her student loans. That's not how any of this works. That is how it works in families that value fiscal responsibility. I'm not paying off her student loans. He took a long drag of his cigar. Then I can't give you my blessing. You already gave me your blessing. 4 months ago, at the proposal dinner, you toasted us. That was preliminary. Conditional. This is the final requirement. Conditional. This is the final requirement. I just stared at him. He was serious. Completely serious. Let me get this straight, I said. You want me to pay $30,000 to clear your daughter's student debt, or you won't give your blessing for a wedding that's already planned and paid for. Correct. And you think that's reasonable? I think it's necessary. Rachel deserves a husband who can shoulder financial burdens. If you can't handle $30,000 now, how will you handle a mortgage, kids, college funds, life insurance? By budgeting like a normal person, not by liquidating assets to satisfy my father-in-law's weird power trip. His jaw tightened. This isn't a power trip. This is a father protecting his daughter. From what? Student loan interest rates. From a man who isn't serious about commitment. I took a breath and counted to 5. It didn't help. I understand, I said. Good. I'm glad I'll think about it. We went back inside. Rachel asked if everything was okay. I said fine, just wedding stuff. She believed me. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning I called my lawyer. Yes, I have a lawyer, my cousin who practices contract law. We went to law school together. Well, he went to law school. I visited him once and we got drunk. Close enough. Hey, Marcus. K. Marcus. Hypothetical question. If someone agrees to pay for part of a wedding, can they back out? Depends on the contract. Why? I explained everything. Dennis, the demand, the whole blessing held hostage situation. Marcus was quiet for a moment, then said, "Oh, we are going to have some fun with this. Here's the thing about wedding contracts. Most people don't read them. They sign, pay deposits, and move on. I read everything. Occupational hazard of being a software engineer. I've debugged enough code to know details matter. Our venue contract had a standard cancellation clause, 90+ days out, you lose your deposit. 60-89 days, you lose 50%. 30 to 59 days, you lose 75%. Less than 30 days, you pay the full balance. But there was another clause, a fun one. One I had specifically requested when we booked. Section 8.4, in the event of cancellation, all outstanding balances and fees shall be billed to the party listed as financial guarantor in Section 2.3. Section 2.3. When we filled out the contract, there was a line, financial guarantor, if different from contracting party. I wrote, Dennis Mitchell, father of the bride. Why? Because Dennis had insisted on being copied on all vendor emails. Oversight, he called it. And when the venue coordinator asked if anyone else should be listed as a point of contact, Rachel said, "Oh, my dad wants to be involved." So I involved him, legally. The contract itself was in my and Rachel's names, but the financial guarantor, that was Dennis. At the time, it was just to annoy him with invoices. Petty, yes. Prophetic, very. Now it was leverage. I called the wedding planner a sweet woman named Gloria who had planned over 300 weddings and had seen everything. Gloria, hi. Quick question about our contract. Of course, dear. What's up? If we needed to cancel the reception, not the wedding, just a reception, what would that look like? Pause. Is everything okay? Everything's fine. Just hypothetical. Well, you're 73 days out. Cancellation would incur a 50% fee on the remaining balance. You've paid $12,000 in deposits. The remaining balance is $16,000, so you'd owe an additional $8,000 in cancellation fees. Plus you'd forfeit the deposits. Total loss, $20,000. And who gets billed for that? I heard papers shuffling. Let me see. According to Section 8.4, the financial guarantor. That's Dennis Mitchell. Correct. Another pause. Longer this time. Are you doing what I think you're doing? That depends. What do you think I'm dead? Oling. Something either brilliant or catastrophic. Why not both? Gloria laughed. Actually laughed. Honey, I've been doing this for 30 years. I've seen grooms leave brides at the altar. I've seen brides sleep with the best man the night before. I once saw a mother-in-law release chickens during the ceremony. But I've never seen someone weaponize a contract clause against their future father-in-law. First time for everything. If you do this, just know I'm sending the invoice on a Friday afternoon. Maximum damage. Gloria, you are a professional. I'm also petty. Cancellation confirmed? Not yet. I need to talk to Rachel first. That evening, I told Rachel everything. The conversation with Dennis, the demand, the ultimatum. She was quiet for a long time. $30,000? Yep. To pay off my student loans? Yep. As a gift to prove you're serious? That's what he said. And if you don't, he won't give his blessing. Apparently, his previous blessing was conditional. Rachel set down her wine glass, picked it back up, drank the entire thing, then set it down again. I'm going to kill him. Get in line. No, I'm serious. I'm going over there right now and explaining exactly how insane this is. Or, I said, we could do something more fun. I explained the contract clause, the financial guarantor, the cancellation fee. Rachel's eyes widened, then widened even more. Then she started laughing. Not polite laughter, full, bent-over, tear-streaming laughter. You're going to stick him with a $20,000 bill? Only if he doesn't back down. He won't. You know he won't. His ego is too big. I know. So you're really going to do this, only with your permission. It's your wedding, too. She thought for exactly 3 seconds. Do it. You sure? My dad has been a controlling nightmare my entire life. Do you know what he did? And I got into nursing school. Told me I should have gone to medical school instead. When I bought my car, he said I should have leased. When I got my first apartment, he said I was overpaying for the square footage. Not once has he simply been happy for me without adding some criticism disguised as advice. So that's a yes. That's a hell yes. But we need ground rules. I'm listening. 1, we still get married. This doesn't cancel the wedding, just the reception. Agreed. I love you, not the chicken dance. 2, we elope. Small ceremony. Just us, the officiant, and the people we actually want there. Your mom. Obviously my siblings, your family, are real friends. Not my dad's golf buddies or his sales team. Deal. 3. We use the money we saved to take the honeymoon we actually want instead of the one my dad suggested. He suggested a honeymoon, Branson, Missouri. Said it has great entertainment value for the cost. I'm going to throw up. Exactly. So we were thinking Greece, Italy, somewhere he'd never go because it's too touristy. I've always wanted to see Japan. Done. We'll eat sushi for 2 weeks straight and send him postcards. I kissed her. You are the best fiancé ever. I know. Now call Gloria back and light this candle. The next morning, I emailed Dennis. Subject our conversation, Dennis. I've thought about your request regarding Rachel's student loans. After careful consideration and discussion with Rachel, I've decided I cannot meet your requirement of paying off $30,000 in debt before the wedding. However, I understand that your blessing is important to Rachel, so I want to make sure we're all aligned moving forward. Looking forward to your thoughts. Best. My name professional, polite, and vague enough to sound like I might be backing down without actually committing to anything, he replied within 20 minutes. Act. Our conversation, I'm disappointed but not surprised. This confirms my concerns about your level of commitment. As I stated, without this gesture, I cannot in good conscience give my blessing for this marriage. I suggest you reconsider your priorities. Dennis Mitchell, Regional VP of Sales. LinkedIn profile. His email signature was longer than the message. Of course it was. I forwarded it to Rachel with the subject line, "Permission to fire." She replied, "Weapons free." I called Gloria. It's time. Oh, this is exciting. Confirm cancellation of reception services effective immediately. Confirmed. And I'm billing Dennis Mitchell, financial guarantor, for the full cancellation fee of $20,000. That is correct. I'm giddy. This is unethical. How giddy I am. Gloria, you're a consummate professional. I'm about to ruin this man's Friday afternoon. I'll send the invoice at 4:47 p.m., right when he thinks he's coasting into the weekend. You're an artist. I know. We hung up. I called the officiant. Small ceremony, same date, just at a local park instead of the big venue. She was thrilled. Intimate weddings are my favorite anyway, she said. Then Rachel and I called her mom. Hi, Linda. Yeah, we need to talk about the wedding. There's been a change of plans. We explained everything. The demand, the contract, the cancellation. Linda was quiet for about 5 seconds. Can I be there when he opens the invoice? Mom, what? Your father has been insufferable about this wedding. They're overspending. They should do it my way. I could have negotiated better rates. To Curium anyway, I could have negotiated better rates. To Curium anyway, 40 people we barely know. This is karma. So you're not mad? Mad, honey? I'm proud you found a man with a spine. That's rare in this family. Rachel started crying. Happy tears this time. We invited Linda, Rachel's sibling, Negs, my family, and about 20 close friends to the new wedding. Told them to keep it quiet. We'd explain later. Friday, 4:47 p.m., I was in a meeting. When my phone buzzed, Rachel texted, Gloria just sent me a screenshot of the invoice. It's beautiful. It was. Professional, itemized, clearly breaking down the cancellation fees. And at the bottom, in bold, amount due. $20,000 and 0 cents payable by Dennis Mitchell, financial guarantor. My phone rang at 5:03 p.m. Dennis. I let it ring and texted Rachel. He's calling. She replied, don't answer. Let him simmer. He called 4 more times. Left 2 voicemails. Both were just angry breathing. The second sounded like he punched something. Maybe his desk, maybe his car. I hoped it was his car. Then the text started. 5:08 p.m. Call me now. This is unacceptable. I will not be extorted. This is illegal. My lawyer will be contacting you. Actually, my lawyer is on vacation, but when he gets back, you're going to regret this. Rachel and I read them out loud, laughing. It was better than Netflix. At 6:30 p.m., he showed up at our apartment. Rachel answered the door. I stayed in the kitchen, listening. What the hell is this? He was waving his phone. His face was red, not normal red, tomato red, fire engine red, the kind of red that suggests his blood pressure medication might be a placebo. What's what, Dad? This invoice from the wedding venue says I owe $20,000. Oh, that. Yeah, we canceled the reception. You can't just cancel. We can't just cancel. We can. Actually, we already did. And bill me. You're the financial guarantor. It says so in the contract. Section 8.4. I never agreed to that. You told us you wanted oversight. You insisted on being copied on all vendor communications. We added you to the contracts per your request. This is what oversight looks like. I walked into the living room as casually as possible. Hey, Dennis, how's it going? His face was purple now. Actually purple. You did this. Did what? This contract trick. I signed a standard venue contract. You insisted on being involved. So we involved you. This is fraud. It's actually contract law. You should read the fine print. I mean, you're the one who always says details matter in business, right? I'm not paying this. That's between you and Gloria. She's the wedding planner, great lady, very professional. I'm sure you two can work it out. I'll sue you. For what? Executing a contract you agreed to. Good luck. Rachel stepped forward. Dad, you had a choice. You could have just been happy for us, supported us, shown up, and enjoyed the wedding like a normal father. Instead, you tried to extort my fiancé for $30,000. So yes, we canceled the reception you were so concerned about. We're still getting married, just without the circus. Where? None of your business, Rachel. No, you don't get to make demands anymore. You either pay the invoice and deal with the consequences of your own greed, or you dispute it with Gloria and explain to a judge why you think your daughter's fiancé should pay off her student loans as a wedding gift. Either way, I'm done. Dennis looked at me, then at Rachel, then back at me. You're both insane. We're both done with you. Rachel said. "Now leave." He left. The wedding was 2 months later, a small ceremony in a park with 25 people. Rachel wore a simple dress she bought off the rack for $300. I wore a suit I already owned. The officiant cried. Rachel's mom cried. I cried. The whole thing cost less than $2,000. It was perfect. Dennis didn't come. Linda did. She brought champagne and a card that said, "Congratulations on marrying up, sweetheart." It was addressed to me. We used the money we saved to book 3 weeks in Japan. We stayed in tiny Ryok, and ate street food, visited temples, and didn't check our phones. The best part, we sent Dennis a postcard from Tokyo. It said, "Having a wonderful time. Wish you were here. Just kidding. Thanks for funding our honeymoon with your cancellation fee. The sushi is amazing." Rachel and my name Linda later told us he threw the postcard in the trash, then dug it back out and kept it in his desk drawer. He looks at it sometimes when he's angry. She said, "I think it reminds him what happens when he overplays his hand." When we got back, Linda told us Dennis had paid the invoice. He fought it for a week. Then his lawyer told him he'd lose in court and end up paying even more in legal fees. He wrote the check, but he's not speaking to you. How will we cope? Rachel said. We bought a house 6 months later. Didn't tell Dennis. He found out through Facebook and sent a message. "You should have consulted me on the mortgage rate." Rachel blocked him. 2 years later, Rachel got pregnant. We told Linda first. She cried, happy tears, and immediately started planning the baby shower. We told Dennis last, not out of cruelty, but because we genuinely forgot. His response, "Make sure you set up a 529 college fund. Education is expensive." Rachel replied, "Thanks for the advice. We'll be sure to make you the financial guarantor." He didn't respond. The baby was born in March. Beautiful, healthy, perfect. Dennis sent a card with a $50 savings bond. It read, "For her future education expenses, plan ahead." Rachel framed it with the caption, "Irony." We still laugh about the wedding, about Dennis's face when he realized what had happened, about Gloria's perfectly timed invoice. The best $20,000 Dennis ever spent. He paid for a wedding reception we didn't want and learned a valuable lesson about contract law. As for the student loans, Rachel is paying them off herself, $400 a month, on schedule, with pride. Because that's what adults do. They handle their own debts, plan their own weddings, and don't let controlling parents dictate their lives. And sometimes, just sometimes, they weaponize Section 8.4 of a venue contract to teach someone a lesson about power trips. Best wedding gift I ever gave.